School holidays are a welcome break for students, but parents often struggle to keep their children entertained. Psychologists say the first week of holidays triggers an increase in sibling rivalry as kids battle over boundaries, toys, turn-taking and attention. So what can mum and dad do to survive these school holidays? Well, for more, let's bring in parenting expert Claire Orange. Good afternoon, Claire.
Hey, Jerry.
What are the main causes of sibling rivalry and what age is it most common at?
Right, well, there's lots of causes, but generally it's vying for parental attention is what kids are after, each other's resources and how much of stuff they get. So the normal stuff in sibling world. When does it happen? Well, you know, it happens across the ages. I think for little people, sub 5, they don't know how to share. So sibling rivalry there is about stealing each other's stuff and declaring it their own. But it kind of gets a bit more language-based as kids get a bit older as well. So I think it just changes, and it changes across gender children. If you've got all boys or all girls, you know, that comes with its own issues as well. Complex stuff.
Right, so it can travel through a few ages, but I suppose it changes. What are the best ways to managing sibling rivalry, that's a mouthful, during the school holidays?
All right, well, you know, I think as parents, because we've got kids and they're in situ, whether they're in your home or someone else's home, we kind of have this expectation that they should be able to play together endlessly. And that's a bit of a mistake, Jerry, because, you know, if you've ever had kids for a playover, you sort of can't wait for them to go home after 2 hours. And it can be the same for children. So make sure that if you've got your children on school holidays, they've got places that they can retreat, have time by themselves. They're not required to play together for hours on end, so that when they do, they come together for a thing, but they do have their own space as well. And that's often one of the biggest ways to offset that sibling rivalry and that whinging and whining and carrying on, is give them some time apart as well, where they're not allowed to sort of interrupt each other's time.
Nowadays, the conflict often stems from sharing, you know, an iPad or video games. Do you have any strategies for parents to prevent those techno tantrums?
Yeah, well, I think because it's so incredibly rewarding for children to be on screen, and it's pretty rewarding for us parents as well because they're generally lovely and quiet, is make sure that if you've got several children sharing one device, that you've spent a bit of time talking about it beforehand. You've made the rules. Get children to make the rules and not in the moment because you just get a screaming match. Do it the night before. How are we going to organise the iPad tomorrow? Make sure that there's a roster. You get your kids to stick to it, and you know, there's plenty apps as well that parents can use that turn that device off at the end of the scheduled time. Don't be scared to use them.
Great tips, Claire Orange. I'm sure you're helping out a lot of mums and dads at home. We appreciate your time this afternoon.
My pleasure.